Twitter seems to feel like it only wants outragement bait or tweets that'll make people angry. And if you're not seeing that, you're seeing somebody get killed. So it's really just a miserable experience overall. And don't get me started on TikTok and Instagram, which are famous for their brutal comments. And I wouldn't really even use the word brutal, because I think brutal can sometimes mean there's a bit of honesty and fun there, but I would say it's just cruel. Like, just being online right now is cruel. It feels like nobody has any respect for each other. But I don't think I've quite lost as much faith in the internet as I have until now. But look, I'll be honest. This video is about one thing. It's about the weird blanket hatred towards VTubers. I've seen a massive, massive hate train against Iron Mouse, which I don't understand. And I know that you guys aren't the ones doing this. You guys watching this video are very normal and well-adjusted people, and I appreciate that. But there are a lot of people online that seem to just have fun ruining other people's lives. I don't understand it. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I bringing all of this up? Well, don't worry. It'll all make sense. Just get along for the ride and listen to the weird British man rant at you. You see, in 2024, Iron Mouse broke the all-time sub record on Twitch. It was a massive achievement. It was, I'm sure, an amazing and an inspiring moment for all of us, as well as Mouse. Unfortunately, probably what you didn't see was the deluge of vile comments, disturbing threats, and just overall hatred towards Mouse. And I'd love to tell you that this all started here and it's pretty much gone with now, but sadly this is a thing that has been going on for a very, very long time. And this is not just for Mouse. VTubers in general have had to deal with a lot of shit just for being an anime girl or boy on the internet. So let's go back in time a little bit so that we can better understand the full scope of this mess. Yes, you got me. This is a video about me defending my friend. 100%. I'm not even trying to hide that. But I also just want to bring a tiny bit of attention to the level of normalized hate that is just for some reason acceptable. And hopefully that, maybe this video can make a tiny bit of a change. Because what some of these creators have to endure is on a level that I've never seen before on the internet. And I've been here for a very long time. 4 years ago, VTubers had a massive explosion in popularity here in the West. Now, obviously they've been around in Japan for a while because this is very Japanese coded. But 4 years ago, they blew up and people started getting into them. However, there was a lot of pushback from people like me included who were kind of like, what is this? I don't know what this is. But I like it, but I don't know yet. I don't know, I gotta see. And I'm sure any VTuber who was around in this era could tell you the amount of hatred that was given out towards VTubers. Like, why are you using a voice changer? Are you a man? Are you an AI, perhaps? Pretty uninspired, insulting comments. And during this boom is when a lot of people found Iron Mouse as well. Now, Iron Mouse had actually been streaming a long time before this as well, but it wasn't until this moment where a lot of VTubers were on Twitch and kind of getting great viewership. Now, obviously, VTubers choose to be represented by an avatar for a multitude of reasons, but for Mouse, it was for anonymity, which is why most VTubers do it. And now, look, Mouse has been sick for a very long time with a multitude of illnesses, but the main one being primary immune deficiency. Primary immune deficiency is slightly different to autoimmune diseases that you might have heard about. Autoimmune diseases are where your immune system kind of attacks itself, whereas primary immune deficiency means that your immune system just doesn't work or doesn't work very well. And I'm sure a lot of my viewers are familiar with this because I'm always raising money for charities that want to find cures and support people with primary immune deficiencies. I mess it up all the time. When you have a really bad case of primary immune deficiency, it means that stuff like vaccines don't work on you. It means that you're worried about getting sick constantly from everything. Whereas maybe you and I could eat a bunch of dirt, maybe going even near dirt or someone who's slightly ill 20 feet away could easily get you sick or give you a bad case of pneumonia. This disease means that Mouse pretty much can't interact with anyone and can't leave her room. And even if she wanted to, Mouse was disabled for a very long time and has slowly started to regain the ability to walk thanks to being able to finally support premium healthcare. Yay, love America! So this meant the only human contact the Mouse got was pretty much talking to her parents or very close family who she was kind of already adjusted to, and family who understood about the disease and took precautions. And look, I know this is a lot of information, but what I'm trying to get at is that you can only imagine how crushingly lonely this must be. Imagine not being able to leave your room. Yes, we were all there during COVID, but we at least knew that it was probably going to end at some point. And I'm sure many of you knew, me included, that this was awful for our mental health. Not being able to see the people that you care about or interact with friends or just have a casual interaction with a cashier person is interactions that I'm sure all of us missed. And it was thanks to VTuber technology getting so much better and more accessible that Mouse was able to stream like me or like you or like any other big streamer. It was a level playing field. And on top of that, if you were a more artistically inclined person, you could show off your artistic skills by, costume design or singing or lore or voice acting. There's so many more facets to it than me raging at Jump King. It's talent, okay? And one of the best clips of Mouse's early career is when she's trying to raise money to get a new medical bed. Basically, normal beds, not good. They don't offer you support. They don't allow you to, go, lie upright. Basically, a lot more support. She asked her viewers if they'd be willing to donate towards that, and within minutes, they'd smash that goal.
I don't like to call my bed my bed. I don't like calling it my bed. It makes me feel very embarrassed. It makes me feel not so good. So I like to call my bed my workspace because that's where I am all the time. Fox, thank you so much for the pedally. God damn it! Now what are you doing? Now thank you so much for pedally. Bed my God damn it! Now what are you doing? Now thank you so much for the dono.
And I think a lot of people forget that Mouse didn't used to stream long. Mouse used to only stream for like an hour or two at a time, and then would go offline to take medication. But now feels comfortable enough to take the medication and still keep streaming, which I think is an amazing thing and something that the outpouring support has allowed her to do. And obviously VTubers do more than just talk and play crappy games like me. Some of them have god-tier singing skills. We all know that Mouse was training to be an opera singer and sounds incredible!
If you could look at me once more.
Combine that with aesthetically pleasing designs that are constantly changing, and it's no wonder that VTubers eventually had their boom. Now, obviously, Twitch and YouTube have always been very gamer-centric and gamer-focused, and gamers aren't exactly known for being the most chill and reasonable people. Look, I was a Call of Duty kid. If I said the things that I said in those lobbies, and they were recorded, I would not be here today. I would not have a career. Or any career. I was toxic, okay? Now look, I've been a content creator for 10 plus years online. It's been my entire adult life. I've been doing this for so long that I'm a fossil in internet years. And even before that, I would pretty much only spend my time on the internet. And it was normal that as a creator that you would get some kind of hatred towards you, or some people who would just blindly write mean comments. It was part of the job. Doesn't mean it's a good part or that we should accept it, but it's just kind of how it was. And because every creator would get a bunch of hate comments here and there was kind of a mutual respect amongst creators that you wouldn't just blindly insult each other for no reason. You wouldn't insult someone you didn't know or you didn't have beef with. It was a thing that you could expect because that's how normal people behave. However, nowadays, it kind of feels like that's not the case anymore. It feels like it's kind of encouraged or okay to punch down and make fun of other creators that you don't like or you think that something's weird about them. And this has happened a lot with VTubers. For example, in 2022, a massive TikTok creator, Noah Glenn Carter, made a video mocking the fact that people wanted to meet Mouse virtually. Here you go.
This might be the saddest video on the internet. So I want you to take a look at all these people. They were all trying to get the attention of a monitor. Basically, that's a popular VTuber on the monitor that was virtually attending an anime convention. And this whole crowd of people were following the monitor in hopes that they could get a picture with it.
Now, obviously, you and I know that Mouse can't leave her room, and this is the only way that Mouse can walk around a convention or see any of her viewers, or any of those viewers can talk to Mouse. It's a rare experience for everyone involved, and an amazing feat of technology that we can even do anything like this. And to his credit, he did apologize.
This is an apology to a creator called Iron Mouse because of this video. Now, in my video on this, I called the video one of the saddest videos on the internet, which is completely unnecessary on my part. And Iron Mouse actually responded, clarifying that the people weren't even crowding her, but instead they were crowding somebody named Connor that was there. I'm really sorry to you, Iron Mouse, if you're watching. My video was completely unnecessary. I really hope that my video didn't cause you any kind of negativity or anything. And again, I am so sorry if it did. I will be deleting that video as soon as I post this one.
First of all, ouch. Second of all, you didn't think there was going to be any negativity? What do you mean by that? And now look, to Noah's credit, he did apologize and take down the video. And I think that needs to be commended, as a lot of people don't have the common decency to do that anymore. But would you not have taken it down if nobody complained? If everyone joined in? Haha, let's make fun of it. Would you not have taken it down? Or did you take it down just because people were like, hey man, you're kind of a dick? The reason why I show you this is not because I want to send any hatred. This is 2 years ago. It does not matter. It's over. Do not send hatred towards another creator. And if you do, you're a piece of shit and you should not be here. But why is it now that you can just dunk on something that you don't know anything about, you don't understand, and you didn't bother to research into? Why is that the norm now? Why is it that you just post first and research second? Oh, I got some hate about this. I'll take it down. Don't worry about the other 500 videos where I blindly made fun of people I don't understand. The sad truth now is that it seems like it's okay if you're a large creator to be a dick to anybody you want or don't like or don't agree with. You know, Having a large audience is a huge responsibility. Whether we like it or not, we are influencers. We influence people with our opinions and what we say. I'm sure some people watching this video right now will be influenced by my opinion on all of this stuff. That's how it goes. But for some reason, it's okay now to blindly hate others and send rabid fans to go and attack people and stuff they don't understand. Why? It's hard enough just existing right now. It is horrible living in this year. It is a miserable time to be alive. Why are we making it harder for everyone? And if you're a VTuber, it is kind of just accepted now that you just get this level of blind hatred all the time. It's insane. Why is this okay? Anyway, moving on with the timeline. Since then, Mouse, and I assume most VTubers, have had to deal with insult after insult that is normalized. For Mouse personally, this level of hatred and vitriol escalated another level when Mouse was nominated for the Game Awards. Now, the Game Awards have this category for Content Creator of the Year. Obviously, this year had a massive amount of very big creators that I'm sure we're all familiar with. But to the surprise of Mouse, and to most of us, Mouse got nominated. And this isn't saying that Mouse didn't deserve it. Mouse had an amazing year. Mouse had raised a ton of money for charity, had broken the all-time sub record for a woman on Twitch, and had done just some of the most amazing shit when you consider that Mouse is bedridden and has to have medication every single day that completely changes how any of this would be done, and providing such an insane energy to every stream whilst battling a ton of medical issues that are permanent throughout Mouse's life. I think the nomination is deserved, and by some sheer miracle, Mouse had won the award. It was a crazy achievement, and nobody expected Mouse to win, to be honest, because Mouse was by far the smallest creator out of the ones that were nominated.
And the Game Award goes to Iron Mouse. So, Iron Mouse couldn't be here tonight because Iron Mouse is animated, and sadly, we're not in the Matrix yet.
Obviously, these creators were massive, and a lot of their fans that are watching the Game Awards were a bit upset about Mouse winning the award. This has led to a constant, and I cannot preface this enough, a constant stream of hatred now that Mouse has had to deal with openly on all of her socials for years now. This is the level of hatred that is normally, like, I just gotta show you. I gotta show you. It's like ridiculous. This is 2022. Back when Mouse's comments were pretty normal, I'd say. As you can see here, this is beating Kai. Okay, a little negative and unnecessary, but not that bad. This over Kai? Bro, who are you? You know, and luckily at this point, not all the comments are like this, but they're by far the most liked ones, and it only gets worse the closer we get to today. We all came from that Kai video, right? This is #1 streamer. No way, blood. This is #1 streamer. This is who gets #1 on Twitch. It's an evil world we live in. And you'd think, okay, maybe something happened at the time. This has been pretty much constant until now. Speed and Kai on top. How is the streamer of the year? How is the streamer of the year? This won the award, by the way. Oh, hell nah. This is who won. No cap, who's Iron Mouse? Brain rot. This beats Cypher PK. Game Awards are wild. Why did you win? No way this won Creator of the Year. I'm crying. This literally goes on and on. And you'd think, okay, look, it's because Mouse won the Streamer of the Year. It probably stops after that. Oh no. So many people are like, post this on Instagram Reels. Post this on Reels. Oh yeah, great. Because love that. Love being toxic on Instagram. Bro, who are you? I'm begging you, please post this on Instagram. Why do people just want to be so cruel? What the f***? Just chill the f*** out, man. Who the f*** is watching this? This thing has the most subs on Twitch. How did you beat Kai? No human being on the planet wearing this. Okay, well, I wear it and it's on fire. Okay, jeez. On my life, I've never in my entire life seen a single stream. Why do you care? Why? Like, if I just haven't seen something, I just don't interact. I don't understand what has happened where we all feel the need to say our opinion and be like, yeah, guys, we hate this, right? Who cares? You're a loser. This has gone on for months. And it's pretty much just led to Mouse just not posting on TikTok, which I feel is really f***ed up. You can just successfully bully a massive creator off a platform. The reason why this all happened, by the way, is just because Mouse won an award. What? And this is just the stuff that Mouse gets on her own socials. This doesn't include the hatred that she receives from just existing in those posts from those low-tier bait Twitter accounts that post, can you believe this cartoon is beating Mars streamer, guys? And it only escalated once more when Iron Mouse got the all-time sub record on Twitch, which led to a bunch of news articles tweeting about it and people talking about it. And unfortunately, a lot of people were just being blindly hateful. And of course, this level of hatred doesn't just stay on the platforms you'd expect it to. It's also in Mouse's chat. Here is a 85-page document of just some recent bans of people saying the most heinous shit towards Mouse. Now, you're telling me this bitch-ass VTuber surpassed Kai Cenat. God, you know these people are so ugly. Just sad how Sims donate to this crap. This is the bitch that broke Kai's record. I refuse to believe any of you are real human beings. Unless you have less than 60 IQ, no one in this chat is real. I've been watching this shit for 10 minutes and I want to kill myself. How do people watch this shit, you weirdos? You'll never get on Kai's level. You guys know this is a fat guy, right? Amongst obviously all those insults, a lot of people saying that Mouse is lying about her illness, which, I mean, I don't have to tell you why that's wrong. Like, look at this. This is psychotic. This is fucked up. How is this okay? And by the way, this is the list, obviously, that doesn't include the N-word bans, or that would be another 20 pages. Because of course it would be. Like if this was my chat, I just would not stream. I would just not show up. This is fucked. 100%. I want to make this clear. I'm not blaming any creator. Obviously, we saw a lot of people name dropping Kai, saying how could this lose to Kai and all that stuff. This is not me blaming Kai in any capacity. I think his audience is at the size that is absolutely absurd. And at that level, you can try and tell your viewers, hey man, look, be respectful, which Kai has on numerous times. He's openly praised Iron Mouse and been very supportive towards small creators.
Iron Mouse has always been top 5 all time. He's somebody I had to pass during my first subathon. Now, I know people are defensive. I know a lot of people defend me and shit like that. But Chad, if you actually looked at her stream and actually kept up with what she's doing, you feel what I'm saying? Not only was it for a good cause, but it was pretty well put together.
But obviously, you know, as a creator, you do still have some influence over your viewers. And I think it's important to make sure that when you see this behavior in the community that you call it out. And I'm not entirely sure when this happened online, but it feels like it's okay to just blindly make fun or hate something you don't understand or have not learned anything about. But I guess that is more of a reflection of the current times we live in, because everyone seems to do that all the time. As a creator, I would be embarrassed if I saw my viewers blindly hating on someone else using my name. I would be mortified if I saw that. And the one good thing about all you guys is that I know that you don't do that. And I appreciate that, because you're all cool and you're all normally well-adjusted people, I hope. And look, I'll admit, I don't have a point of this video. I don't have a plan. I was just going crazy looking at all of this open hatred and losing my mind, wondering why this is normal. That was literally it. And that's the reason why I'm making this video. And I kind of wanted to ask if anyone else or any other VTubers or any other even YouTubers, if you've experienced this same kind of level of blind hatred yourself. I would love to hear about it, just so that I know that I'm not going crazy. I hope we can have a civilized and good discussion in the comments. And so with that, I wish you all the best of luck. Don't let these urinal cake eating children distract you from what you want to do in life. Now I'm going to go drink a beer. Bye. Although in this video, some of these unbans are quite funny, please don't try to get banned and to do this on purpose. It's not going to work a lot of the time. Some of you have been very naughty boys in my chat. In fact, some of you are so naughty that you get banned. No, it can't be! Why? So today, with the help of my...
See, apparently this new game came out. I didn't even know about this. There's apparently another Concord that's coming out that I wasn't even fucking aware of. I feel like that it's already... Wait, is it already dead? Wait, it's...
So about a month ago, we talked about this game, Unknown 9 Awakening.
Unknown 9, yeah, accurate. I didn't even know it existed.
There's another giant failure associated with Sweet Baby Inc. Kim Belair having been credited for working on the game, as well as David Bedard at Reflector.
Yeah, she did like the speeches, like she was the one talking.
Behind Unknown 9 Awakening, who's also a co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc. So founding members of Sweet Baby Inc. have worked on Unknown 9 Awakening. And let's get a brief refresher of how that game's been doing before we take a look at the further news regarding this update. Hopping over to SteamDB. As of recording right now, there are currently...
Maybe the 9 was referencing to the amount of people that know about the game. That must have been it.
22 people in-game playing Unknown 9 Awakening on Steam.
Holy shit.
Review score sitting at 33.47%. Astronomically terrible, as well as the player count, of course. And the all-time peak player count is also
200.
awful, having achieved 285. To call this game a flop might even be generous.
I don't think
and
it's a
I don't just
flop.
say that because of the terribly performing game itself, but everyone...
This is crazy. Like, look at the quality of the game, too. Like, this is millions of dollars getting pissed away. And like, the actress in there, she was the one who played Yennefer in The Witcher.
Associated with Unknown 9 Awakening.
Look at her arms. Yeah, bro, wait a second. I didn't even... God damn. She looks like a male human in WoW.
From Reflector, Sweet Baby Inc., and even Bandai Namco seem to have thought that this would be a great, highly successful new intellectual property, as they were making their own cinematic universe of sorts, including various comic releases to
Wait, there's Unknown 9... Oh, no. They're trying... No. Bro. They're in the hole for this probably $100 million. Oh my God. Look at all this media.
Along with the game, and even a web series and scripted podcast. Oh, and also some novels, as you can see here. Got this whole thing lined up. So, like,
yeah,
let's just take a minute to just let this all sink in, man. Like,
who cares?
Holy smokes, dude. This reminds me of Concord, right? Like, didn't the Concord...
No, this is even more embarrassing than Concord, because at least Concord was just a game, right? They had the one secret level thing. But this is like basically these people... Like, this is the definition of counting your eggs before they hatch. These people don't even have one egg. They thought they had a whole dozen.
People think that this was going to be like a long-term, like, Star Wars level successful IP. And they had, like, all these, like, huge ambitions for Concord. I mean, this is a similar thing here with Unknown 9 Awakening.
Oh,
obviously,
my God.
Far less money spent on this than Concord. And I don't believe Sweet Baby Inc.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, if they have all of these IPs running simultaneously... I mean, Concord is a legendary level failure, but I feel like this one, like, if I was one of the people that was like a person that kind of like thought all this out, I would be trying to take out a life insurance policy. I would be like, I need to look out for my family. Like, I just made a really big mistake. Yeah, I'd be taking out a life insurance policy. This is bad.
Involved with Concord at all. I'm simply comparing how both have flopped entirely, and of
Yeah,
course
sure.
there's also similarities in things like DI policies with the games,
Yeah, sure.
and also out of touchness and tone deafness from the people involved with both games. The point is, it's
God.
just funny to me, the similarities. It's really astonishing when people defend Sweet Baby Inc. They always cite like 2 successful games that they worked on, that being Ragnarok.
I don't think Sweet Baby is the reason why it's bad. I think it's bad and they invite Sweet Baby in to make it worse. I really don't think it's like the harbinger of death, right? No, they're invited in with open arms and paid for their time.
And also Spider-Man.
Like-
and the defenders conveniently never talk about the numerous growing list of like
Oh, wow.
extreme failures that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on.
Wait, is this the game?
And another point that I've brought up before is Ragnarok and Spider-Man
This makes Star Wars Outlaws look like Elden Ring.
had giant teams working on those games. In other words, SBI's involvement was probably kept at a minimum. But the games that have like far smaller teams and therefore likely
Jesus, look at this. Is so disgusting. Oh my God. Why would anybody...
far more involvement from Sweet Baby Inc. tend to be these like huge flops, man. And now in this situation, I haven't even finished everything because
Look at how shitty this is. I've got to say it. Riddick did this better in 2000 and what was it? 2003? Yeah, this is insane.
turns out Reflector is going through layoffs. Similar to Zhao, who worked with Sweet Baby Inc., who then had layoffs and then shut down their entire games division, it looks like Reflector is currently going down that same road. As that takes us to Eurogamer, who says, Unknown 9 Awakening developers report
Report layoffs. How could this happen? How could this have happened to them? Let's be honest, a lot of those games look worse than Half-Life 2. I bet there's a Half-Life 2 texture pack that makes the game look better than this. You're right.
Layoffs. Reflector Entertainment's debut launched last month, and already they are now laying people off.
Wait, so this... Hold up. Oh, they launched last month? Yeah, bro, like the 9 is referring to the amount of people that knew this game was coming out. I didn't even know this happened. Check Steam. Okay, I'm going to pull it up right now. So 285 people. Wow. Wait, is this worse than Immortals of Avenum? Oh my... Wait, is it worse than Concord? Is it worse than Dustborn? Okay, it's not that bad. Okay. Jesus. Who are those 3 people? Probably YouTubers that are making a video about the game being bad. This is insane.
Staff members who worked on Unknown 9 Awakening report layoffs across the team at Canadian outfit
I should play the game.
Reflector Entertainment. Jobs lost include roles within Reflector's art, marketing, narrative, and quality assurance teams.
I could see why.
Game developer reported Unknown 9 Awakening launched last month to mixed reviews on Steam, where it sits with a mixed rating. Less than 100 players have rated the game.
Jesus.
The game was also meant to act as a central point for the franchise as a cross-media brand.
Cross-media... Bro, how do people... like, ever since the MCU came out and, like, Marvel did what it did, everybody thinks, like, oh, okay, well, let's just do the same thing. As if Marvel didn't have nearly 100 years of nostalgia and lore and source material to go off of. Like, how do you fucking think this is... Like, even DC couldn't do it. I feel like, yeah, and loads of talent. Yes, you have the greatest actors in the world. You have Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, fucking Benedict Cumberbatch, or whatever the fuck his name is. These guys are amazing. And you think that you're going to get, like, the one character in the show that people hated, that they hated it the most because of her, you're going to have her be the main character? How stupid are you? Like,
this week, a second season of Unknown 9 Out of Sight tie-in podcast was launched, while the 4th issue of its graphic novel series Unknown 9 Torment arrived. There's also a web series, Unknown 9 Passage, which you can go watch on YouTube. We also have a quote that reads, "Unfortunately, I was affected by the layoffs at Reflector Entertainment, which means I'm currently looking for a job as a narrative designer or..."
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, you need to change your resume. If you were involved in this game, just say that you were in jail for committing a felony. Yeah, I think it'll probably look better on your resume than saying that you played this game. Or you made this game. Yeah, say like, yeah, I did an armed robbery and I killed somebody. Oh, okay, good. I was worried you were working on Unknown 9. That's fine. Yeah, come on. Yeah, you're good.
Game writer, if you hear of any opportunities, please let me know. One staff member who lost their job wrote. Eurogamer has contacted Bandai Namco for comment. They also mentioned that the protagonist Haruna was played in the final game by Anya Shalatra, aka Yennefer, in Netflix's The Witcher. And it was the first project from the Montreal-based Reflector, co-founded by former Assassin's Creed Unity creative director Alexandre Amancio. Returning to David Bedard, you may have noticed that he had also worked over at Ubisoft, seemingly Ubisoft Montreal. There's a recurring theme with a lot of these consultation firms like Sweet Baby Inc. and others that they are based out of Canada.
Yeah, they're Canada. We need to have... Like, Trump keeps talking about this wall at Mexico. I think the Mexicans are great. Why don't we build the wall up there at Canada? Let's get them the fuck out of here. Yeah, we're building the wrong wall, guys.
Canada. And it does seem like a number of the people working there do indeed have ties back to Ubisoft.
Mexicans are playing Sparking Zero. They fucking love video games. They're super fans of everything. Meanwhile, Canadian, fuck this, man. They're coming and messing up our games.
Soft. A top comment on our Kotaku in Action discussing this news would say, I would have loved to be a fly on the office wall with the people in charge when the sales numbers for those novels and comic books started coming in. What sales numbers? The response reading, it's highly regarded. Why don't they do any market research and playtesting? Spend 5 minutes on YouTube and you'll see this is not a winning strategy. Virtue signaling may get you a lot of clicks, but it won't get you sales.
It doesn't even get you a lot of clicks. I didn't even know this game was coming out. If I had known this game was coming out, I'm going to tell you the truth. I would have played it because it's the kind of game that it's bad. And so like you can make content about it being bad.
To be quite frank, though, all of this stuff is extremely bizarre. Like, you would imagine that they would care about sales, but then they talk about they being Sweet Baby Inc. employees having been on record talking about wanting to burn the gaming industry to the ground. On top of that, we've seen how a number of these consultation firms and their associates have been grifting off of government money, attempting to use DEI as a way of achieving ESG metrics, which helps them
This is another reason why you had so many DEI initiatives, by the way, is that not only did you have like private equity and like, you know, like venture capitalist money that was incentivizing it, but you also had the government that was incentivizing it. So effectively, it was a really good farming strategy. So everybody kept farming that dungeon, but now the dungeon got nerfed because of Trump and nobody's doing it anymore. And they're closing the dungeons. Yeah, Doge came in and it's gone. Strat got nerfed.
Said funding. It's all extremely bizarre and corrupt. And clearly these people really shouldn't be in the gaming industry. They have no passion for games or gamers. As a matter of fact, lack of passion is an understatement. A lot of these people flat out despise gamers. So let me know what you think about all of that Sweet Baby Inc. and Unknown 9 Awakening
so
stuff.
Fucking
and
funny
we've got
to me.
one more thing to take a look at here. As I've had a lot of people tagging me and mentioning the situation in my comments, asking me to cover this. So let's take a look. Ollie Barter had said,
yeah, I almost all the Steam reviews for the game got the game for free. Wait, really? Let me see. Unknown 9 Steam reviews. Okay. Mixed. Receive product for free. Wait. This guy got it for free, still said it sucked. Oh my... They can't even pay people to like it.
Sony is in talks
It's bundled
to buy
with
Katakawa.
AMD.
And by the way, thank you all for the tags and
They
comments.
should have bundled it with Intel.
Now let's take a look at what he says here over on Forbes. In a pretty astonishing piece of news, it seems that Sony is in talks to buy Katakawa. According to Reuters, Sony is thinking of buying Katakawa, which would have massive ramifications for both games and anime. From a gaming standpoint, the big acquisition would be From Software, of which Kadokawa has a controlling stake as of 2014. Admittedly, Sony already has a small chunk of FromSoft, along with Tencent, but this new setup would put Sony much more directly in charge. Considering Microsoft's recent acquisition of Activision, it makes sense that Sony would go after a company like FromSoft via Kadokawa.
Yeah, of course.
Sony has had a long-standing relationship with FromSoft, going back to the 90s and the original PlayStation, so in theory, this could be a good matchup. However, my only concern with this is that the Japan studio at Sony was gutted recently. Okay, yeah, hold up, let's talk about that really quick. So, back in 2021, yeah, Sony essentially shut down Japan studio. Now, people often meme around with varying levels of seriousness that Sony isn't even a Japanese company any longer. And Sony gutting or shutting down Japan studio, however you want to phrase it, certainly does seem like a symbolic representation of that being the case. They attempted to justify this action by essentially saying that the studio just wasn't profitable enough anymore. And then what did they do a few years later? Get involved with Concord, losing about $400 million. Now,
well, that's not fair. To be fair, they thought Concord was going to be their Guardians of the Galaxy. They thought, oh man, we're going to do Concord and we're going to make like a TV show out of it. And it's going to be like the next cinematic Sony universe. Like this is going to be like our Overwatch and we're going to do it right. Like, yeah, it just didn't, it was just They just wasted $400 million. And the holding company that owned the studio that basically owned Concord, I think it was like Firewalk or, basically, down in a blaze of fire studios, whatever the fuck it is, was actually valued at $1 billion at one point. That's crazy, huh? Wow.
Of course, a lot of stuff
money.
has occurred throughout all of this. This is just like a few brief points, but oh my gosh.
I think they received investment
so we left off
at that valuation.
However, my only concern with this is that Japan studio at Sony was gutted recently, and the same thing could happen under Sony to FromSoft. That would obviously be awful. The other side of this is Kadokawa's anime and manga output. Yeah. Sony already has Crunchyroll and Aniplex, so buying
Sony
Kadokawa
owns
would bring a
Crunchyroll?
huge amount of IP across anime and manga
What?
under Sony's roof. Kadokawa also has a sizable chunk of the Western anime press.
I didn't even know that.
Having bought Anime News Network and owning Bookwalker, who run GX Plus.
I feel like we're getting close to a,
Yeah,
like
well, Anime News Network and Sony, they would go perfect together, hand in hand, if you get that joke.
Monopoly.
The joke being Anime News Network's terrible reputation. It's a lot of stuff we could talk about regarding that, but I'm not going to bury the lead at the end. The article would conclude saying, in short, this is a lot to take in and would have a dramatic impact across games and anime, not only in Japan, but also globally. Yeah, so I do think this would be pretty terrible stuff. Sony...
I think a lot of people are worried that anime is going to follow the same trend, and like a lot of these larger corporate Japanese studios are going to follow the same trends that American studios are by trying to censor and appeal to people that aren't really their audience in order to reach a larger market. That's what I think a lot of people are worried about. Like, am I crazy on this? Yeah, they already are. Exactly. It's definitely worrying. I think a lot of people feel that way.
Have an increasing grip, infesting their hands onto FromSoft even more. And clearly also not a good thing for the anime industry, in my opinion. We'll see how things continue to develop, but let me know what you think about all of this news, the Unknown 9 Awakening stuff and this Sony stuff at the end of this video. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed my coverage, and if you did, please consider liking and or subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.
That is insane. I had no fucking idea this game even came out. I remember hearing that it was coming out, and I was like, oh, this is just probably something that's stupid. And they had an entire cinematic... Let me link you guys the video. This is... I don't know what I would do without these. Like, so many of these happen that I can't even keep up with them all now. This is insane. I got 2 free games with my GPU, Unknown and Space Marine 2. Oh, so you got 1 free game then. Yeah, that's crazy. Unknown 9 Awakening with a 200 player peak. Again, guys, to keep this into context, that's worse than Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It's worse than Immortals of Avenum. And it's even worse than Concord. Literally unknown. Worse than Concord? Yes. How many millions did it cost? Definitely, I think that we can rest assured that it probably cost more money to make than it made. I think you can pretty much guarantee that. How the fuck? I don't know. I have no idea how you do that. $70 to $100 million. I could see it be a massive, massive amount of money that they spent on it. And, well, that's what you get. That's what you fucking get. You make a shitty game like that, nobody buys it. Blaming Sweet Baby is reaching. I don't think Sweet Baby... I think this game sucked from the beginning, and Sweet Baby just got invited in to make it worse. I think it's like, basically, Sweet Baby, they're not the Antichrist. Basically, they're just simply the horsemen of the apocalypse. They signify that the apocalypse is coming, but it's really the Antichrist that does it. Like, that's it. They're more like an omen or something like that, right? The Harbinger. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's the Silver Surfer and the Herald, the Messenger. Exactly. I think it's so fucking ridiculous. I can't imagine thinking that you're going to build an entire cinematic universe like this. I hope that this is the last cinematic universe that we see. I think that if you have a cinematic universe that you're cooking right now, Just abort it. Abort it. Stop it. You're not Marvel. You're never going to be Marvel. Stop it. I don't know what you're thinking. Unless it's Sonic, yes. Yeah, they just stop doing it. I keep seeing clips of The View. Now, if you guys don't know what show this is a show for bored, neurotic housewives that day drink and spend all day watching daytime television, and most of them probably hate men, which really they hate men because they hate themselves. And so that's it. Show's about to be canceled. No, it's not. This show isn't going to get canceled. There's no way it's going to get canceled. Do you know how many losers watch this show? Tons of people watch this show. Think about how many disaffected, disenfranchised, angry house moms there are. And they're all watching The View being like, ha, exactly, yes. That's what they're doing, yes. She's my wife? Yeah, exactly. A lot of losers. True. Yeah, they're truing it. You go, girl. Exactly. Bitter hags.
We went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that
even she thinks it's stupid. Whoopi Goldberg is the queen of stupid-ass shit of saying, and even she thinks this is stupid.
Dragons, like, I guess, like dinosaur-y type of animals.
Yeah.
Well, let's clarify here. Oh, he believes in dinosaurs. Oh, what a fucking retard. This guy still believes in dinosaurs? Well, everybody knows that all the fossils in the ground of dinosaurs, they're just put in there by Jewish people to make the Christians question their faith. Obviously, right? Yeah, this is, haven't you been on 4chan?
When people did.
Rogan really leaning into this one by changing his ex-bio to, quote, dragon believer. Joe Concha is a Fox News contributor, and he joins us now. Joe, this is so up Joe Rogan's alley in terms of what he finds funny, to, first of all, be called a dragon believer, and also to be accused of being an unreliable source of information.
As if The View is, so if you're getting community noted, legal noted by your own production team multiple times a week, and you're complaining that somebody else isn't a reliable source of information, I wonder what the real problem is.
By the ladies of The View. So what is your reaction to all of this?
Oh, yes, Carly. We should absolutely trust The View. And not the guy who revolutionized the world. With electric cars, SpaceX, I could go on with the accomplishments of Elon Musk. I have a question. Do stupid people get...
I don't know what that has to do with Joe Rogan, but yeah, sure.
Accomplishments of Elon Musk. I have a question. Do stupid people get to a point in life where they realize that they're, stupid? Because this is what panic...
They do. And that's like... So I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen, and it's like, and here's a good parallel. Have you ever had a time where you're fucking with your dog, where you put it in front of a mirror, and then the dog is barking at the mirror, or it's mad at the mirror or cat, and then eventually it figures out, wait a minute. Oh. Right? That's it? Have you guys had that happen where he figures it out? The dog figures out, oh wow. Or he's chasing his tail and he's like, wait a minute. Oh, it's my tail. Fuck. Imagine that, but with a person. Yeah.
Sounds like in legacy media. I've said this before in this program. It's worth repeating again. Because it's so disturbing. The View is under the ABC News umbrella. ABC News is run by a woman named Dana Walden. Dana Walden is Kamala Harris's very best friend.
ABC stands for Always Be Lying.
They lived right near each other in Brentwood, California when she was a senator there. Dana Walden set up Kamala Harris on a blind date with Doug Emhoff, who she obviously is now married to.
Oh, wow.
And now this is what the result is of Dana Walden running ABC News. You have people like Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg under the ABC News umbrella, losing.
Look, it's all a bunch of girls, and he's there with his fucking wife. He's probably there with maybe his wife. This guy's, oh, fuck. Yeah, I had to be here, right? This is it. Like, it's all girls, man.
Their minds on a daily basis. And it's actually kind of fun to watch. But at some point, people are going to be like, all right, I don't want to listen to this anymore because, quite frankly, I can't trust you people because you told us that Donald Trump was Hitler, and now apparently Hitler is going to be the 47th president of the United States. Go figure.
Well, that would be
at some point, I would argue that point is already here. I mean, look at the ratings from the election and beyond. I mean, people are not watching this stuff, and I broaden that out to all the mainstream media collectively. I'm going to take a different tact on this, though, Joe. Shouldn't conservatives be celebrating this cacophony because it shows that there are factions on the left that still refuse to acknowledge ultimately why Trump won. And
the only thing that I'm surprised about The View with is the fact that they acknowledge that the results of the election are legitimate. That's the only thing that I find surprising about them.
The reasons for it. And so
I wouldn't have expected
I don't know, looking
that.
ahead to 2026, that bodes well for the Republicans if they still haven't figured out why the Republicans won.
It's a great point, Todd. I mean, I said this on this program. I'll say it again. Before the election, you guys know this, I said that I couldn't see how Kamala Harris could beat Donald Trump when Donald Trump was winning over black voters to the amount that he was, Latino voters to the amount that he did. Obviously, we also had the union voters, rank and file. He was winning those over as well. We saw the Teamsters in terms of their internal polling.
Anybody who thought that Trump was going to lose, I'm sorry. You got lost in the sauce. You did. You got lost in the sauce. That's just, yeah. You did for a while. I never said I thought he was going to lose. I said there was a chance he lost the popular vote, but that's it. I was actually talking to my dad last night about the minus 700K thing. I was.
That he was winning there big time. Yeah. And when you win those three Democratic strongholds, the Democrat nominee, in this case Kamala Harris, didn't have any chance. So, yeah, that's the thing. Like, they should understand that Donald Trump won for a reason, that he resonated with the very viewers that they seek to bring in. And I'll just leave it there.
I wonder if we're going to see Kamala Harris ever again, or if this is just going to be like, you lost to Orange Hitler. Like, we don't want to look at you anymore. I feel like there's no way she can come back from this. Most VPs go away. She's still like, she lost worse than Hillary. That's impressive. It really is, because Hillary had 30 years of being an obnoxious bitch in the public eyes, and she only had maybe 10. That's really impressive. Yeah, she racked up them hours.
That Trump resonates with people, while people like Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg, went after a Staten Island bakery because they wouldn't make her a cake because their boiler went down? I mean, come on. I mean, this is insane. And at some point, people are going to be like, all right, I'm done with you guys. I'm done.
All right, really quickly, continuing with the post-mortem here. Here is former NBC News anchor Brian Williams. He was on with Seth Meyers last night. Watch this.
It is tough love time for the Democratic Party. I think it needs to be stripped down and rebuilt. I think it's insulting when members of the working class, which the Democratic Party has lost entirely in our lifetimes.
Well, here's the thing, is that the Democratic Party has turned into the party of celebrities and socialites. So now being working class is like seen as a negative thing because it's like a luxury value that people think that they have. They're like, oh yeah, we're part of the cool kids club. And guess what? With somebody like old Joe old Joe Biden. Oh, well, we know Joe. He's been around forever. He's on our side. We're the workers, right? Sleepy Joe, but at least he's dreaming of something that people like. Here's the thing. And that's the reason why people voted for old Joe. Bernie, yeah, exactly. They don't give a fuck. Now it's the party, it's party of socialites. That's it. She accused a bakery of that won't make a cake for her because of her politics when it was actually the boiler problem, so they can't make the cake. So it's the classic, oh, wow, they hate me because I'm X, Y, or Z, but it's actually just some completely normal reason that you've made yourself the main character in their lives, and they're, like, not even aware of it. That basically what happened. The cake was a lie. Memes are becoming reality very fast. They spent so much fucking money on her. I know. So it's like, how many times have you guys seen... Like, I've seen a lot of tweets and messages of people that were, they were saying, oh, if you think the economy is bad, well, just get a better job. Well, just work harder. Just make more money. Like, oh, wow, eggs are expensive for you. Oh, wow, that's such a big problem. It's like, yeah, it is. You think they're going to give a fuck about your social issue if they can't afford food? Don't you understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs? This is like basic psychology. But they just can't figure it out. They don't understand. It's literally the most basic concept. And they can't even realize it. It's the party of educated people. It's the party of educated people who look down on uneducated people. And so if you become a party of people who look down on other people, don't expect them to vote for you. That's it. You can't look down on somebody and then be like, oh, wow, why aren't you saying that I should run the country? Yeah, I wonder why.
To insist the economy is doing great. I think the biggest unforced error of the Biden administration by far was the border. To tell people it's not a problem is insulting.
I think that Kamala Harris talking all that bullshit about Israel probably did more damage to her than the border did, because it demotivated people that were the extreme left, right? The ones that were very, very vocal, very radical. It demotivated them from voting for her. I think it did more damage to her than anything, because every single person, like not every single one, but I feel like almost every person who like Palestine was like a single issue problem for them, every single one of them probably would have been a Kamala Harris voter. I think so.
He also said that he wants to know whose idea it was to have Joe Biden run for re-election at a 38% approval rating when he is the age that he is.
I'll be quick, guys. We talked about this. I've talked about this on the air well before the election. I love hearing this stuff after the election. But yeah, the border is a big issue. It affects every community in this country. The economy.
Well, you can't. Then people are like, oh, well, if you don't want your job taken by an illegal immigrant, just get a better job. It's like, okay, well, how about you get a better job because you're not a politician anymore? You didn't win the vote. You know, it's pretty fucking simple. What a surprise.
Say it's great when people look at their bank accounts and say, no, it's not. And they go to the grocery store and they say, I'm paying twice as much as I did under Donald Trump. So why should I vote for this administration again? So the analysis is correct.
I went to the grocery store yesterday. I spent like $70 and I got like cookies and like 5 or 7 things. Like I didn't get anything crazy. I bought a bag of beef jerky, but it was the store brand beef jerky. Yeah, one basket, $70. No, it was like, so you know, like in a shopping cart where they have like the thing where you put the kids in like the in the seat. I filled that up, and then I had like 2 12-packs of soda in the cart, and that was it. $70 fucking dollars.
But after the fact, I kind of find funny because we talked about it before the election, and that's the whole ball game, unfortunately. And I'm sorry about my voice, by the way. I'm fighting a bit of a cold, we'll call it. And
It's COVID.
Just trying to fight through it. So
If you have kids, you're fighting a cold from October through April. Everybody knows that.
That's true.
Joe
When
Concha.
school starts, you're going to be fighting those colds.
Thank
That's right.
you.
Feel better, Joe. Well, at least
Feel
it's the
better.
weekend, so hopefully you can rest and relax. Thank you for joining us, waking up early.
Vaxxed?
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here.
He's not vaxxed. If he was, he'd be dead, obviously. Yeah, I think them trying to attack Joe Rogan, you know why they're attacking Joe Rogan? It's because Joe Rogan is eating their market share and he's making their influence less important. So it has nothing to do with like Joe Rogan's politics. It has nothing to do with Joe Rogan's viewpoints on anything. It has everything to do with self-serving behavior that is being done for the benefit of themselves. That's why they want to do it. They want to delegitimize him so people turn on the television again. Well, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. And here's another thing. Look at all the people in the audience here. Wait a second. It was like right before this, right? Take a look at, where the fuck did it go? I want to see where they showed the audience of like all the husbands. Yeah, here we go. Up. See if I can play it here. What I'm trying to get at is the fact that all these people are old. It's not like there's a lot of young people that are watching this show. Like, I can't imagine a lot of 19-year-old girls that are like sitting down to watch The View. Yeah, they're boomers. Exactly. They're old. Like, look at this. Look, bro, like, look at that. They're all old as hell. They're all old as hell. Bro, this show, oh, it's not good. Wine moms? No, they're not wine moms. They're wine grandmas. They were wine moms 15 years ago. It's nuts. So, yeah, they're mad as hell. They're mad as hell. They're losing their entire fucking... I'm going to link y'all the video. It's nuts. Hag maxing. Yeah, bro, if you want to be a hag maxer, go to the live broadcasting of The View. Holy fuck, man. This guy, this dude is... Oh, God, yeah. Here we go. Grant Cardone.
Every 15-year-old kid should be doing this right now. If you're getting an allowance of $300 a month, buy a piece of real estate that pays you $30 a month. Only use the 30, don't touch the 300.
I'm going to be a millionaire before I'm 20, and this is how.
Well, guys, today's going to be a...
By the way, that's her daughter. That's his daughter. Yeah, a $300 real estate. Like, what are you buying, a porta potty? Who gets $300 allowance a month? That girl probably does.
Fun one. There is something strangely horrifying yet entertaining about watching a person who is unbelievably out of touch with reality proclaiming how they think the world works. It's like reality TV, but better. Now, this is something we've looked at a lot on this channel because, surprisingly, it's a pretty common thing for those who get very popular on the internet. Who would have thunk? But today, we're looking at a different kind of out of touch. Those who amass great wealth almost always become disconnected from reality and sort of lose sight of the day-to-day struggles that the average person faces. It's kind of an...
I think also, like, this isn't even true with somebody who has a lot of wealth. I think that a lot of people just don't have the same experiences as each other. And the issue isn't that, like, it isn't that somebody is wealthy, it's that somebody refuses to acknowledge another person's reality.
Inevitable. However, this doesn't always have to be a horrible thing. Sometimes all people need is to be sat down and be told, hey man, you have no idea what you're talking about. And for a lot of people, that kind of snaps them back. Unfortunately, however, that does not work for everybody, and that is going to be demonstrated here pretty thoroughly today by the TikToks of Grant Cardone. Now, if you've never heard of this guy, he's basically a glorified course salesman who made a bunch of money.
That's the real way. If you want to learn how to make a lot of money and you're Grant Cardone, here's how you actually make a lot of money. You start selling courses about selling real estate. That's the way you make the money.
From real estate. And now he spends his days in Sigma male, alpha male edits, going on TikTok and giving out the worst, most out-of-touch financial advice a human being has ever provided. To be more specific, the financial advice he gives to parents is so laughable that I had to watch about a dozen videos before I could convince myself this guy is not just playing a character. These videos are hilarious, but they're also kind of depressing at the same time. It's going to be kind of a roller coaster today. Strap in. Let's begin.
Please subscribe. Every 15-year-old kid should be doing this right now. If you're getting an allowance of $300 a month.
Alrighty, not even 5 seconds in, and we're already beginning to see the insanity unfold. Grant, buddy, do you think the average allowance for a 15-year-old is $300 a month? If I had to pull something out of my ass, I would have to guess that the average kid gets somewhere between nothing and $10 a week. Not 75. But this...
I remember when I was in high school, I got like $20 a week. It was like 20 or maybe 30 if I was a good boy. Like, that would be it.
Is not even really that relevant because it's not even close to the craziest thing he's going to say during this clip.
Buy a piece of real estate that pays you $30 a month. Only use the 30, don't touch the 300.
But how would a young, normal person get money?
Allowance, side jobs, side hustles. I was 14 years old. I was working every weekend. I was mowing lawns, doing whatever I could to get some extra money.
All right. Grant, are you fucking insane? Genuine question. Not trying to be mean. Are you crazy? You're a real estate investor, Grant. That's your...
I actually agree with what he's saying in this clip. Whenever I was 14, this is what I was doing when I was 14. I was burning CDs and selling them. I was memorizing all of the questions out of my math tests and then putting them onto my calculator and then selling the answers to them. I was selling soda at school because we weren't allowed to have soda in school in the vending machine, so I would take it and sell it to people at a higher price. I was also selling fireworks at school. I would save up my money, and then like every 4th of July or New Year's, I'd spend a lot of money on fireworks, and I'd sell them at school. Like, I actually did this myself. I did it all the time. Yeah, for sure. Like, and I think kids nowadays, like, there's a million ways you can make money as a kid, for sure. Now, selling crack? Yeah, for sure. But it didn't really help you? I think it actually did. When you do stuff like that, you learn how to make sales, and you can, like, in a lot of cases, a lot of people aren't able to learn processes because they're not able to really make genuine mistakes in processes. But if you can make genuine mistakes in a process, you can actually figure out how to do the right thing.
Thing, I know that you know this is impossible. First of all, let's play Fantasyland here for a moment and act like a 15-year-old could actually get approved for a loan to buy a piece of real estate. Sure.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, the part that's ridiculous about this is buying real estate. Obviously, as a kid trying to make money, of course you do that. Like, I would also buy and sell magic cards because I knew all the prices for every card, and kids at my school didn't know them. So I could, like, be like, oh yeah, I'll give you like $10 for all these cards, and I knew that like 2 cards in there were worth $15. So I would immediately make my money back, right? And there was like tons of ways that I would do that. I remember I would like leave class and then take people's money to buy like popcorn and brownies, and then I just wouldn't give them the change back. Like, there were a million ways that I did this.
We can pretend that, I guess. You want children to go out and buy a piece of property that brings them in $330 a month while only costing $300 a month to finance. Okay, can you find me a single piece of property anywhere in the United States of America that fits that bill? That's like a $40,000 home, Grant. Can you find me a livable $40,000 home anywhere in America? Don't worry, I'll answer that for you. No, you can't. But for the sake of the argument, let's just say you could. But unfortunately for you, Grant, I'm going to take away the fact that we're living in a fantasy world back to reality.
Yeah,
a 15-year-old is not going to have any sort of credits, no assets, no collateral, so they're going to have to come up with a
they can't sign on to a contract. Like, it's actually it's not even that complicated. Like, it has nothing to do with any of that. A 15-year-old can't sign up for that stuff because they're not a legal adult and they can't sign a contract for these things.
What the hell?
Like, it's just like, it's not even legal, right?
Payment, probably 25% for an investment property. That's 10 grand. Do you honestly believe that not only one, the average 15-year-old is getting a $300 a month allowance, but two, the average 15-year-old has 10 grand sitting in the bank? If you do, you're crazy.
I did not. I'll tell you, when I was 15, I did not have $10,000 in the bank. Yeah. Not even remotely close.
Man. And this is just scratching the surface. There's tons of other things you need for a loan. Kids don't have 2 years tax returns, Grant. Look, it's one thing if you want to make videos for children who have parents that are multimillionaires, but to say every kid should be doing this, that's so out of touch, it's kind of unbelievable.
I'm gonna be a millionaire.
I do think that kids should try to make their own money, though. I do. And like, if I was a parent, I would encourage my kid to try to make money in any way that like wouldn't get them like arrested, basically.
Before I'm 20, and this is how.
Yeah,
I work for my
learn the
dad's
hustle.
company. I have a
Exactly.
contract with them, and I get paid every month. And that goes into real estate, where I get my passive income, and I get to spend that. But I never get to touch that principal. And over time, that principal in real estate will make me a millionaire.
When she does more, I'll bonus her for stuff that she does. One of these TikToks goes to 10 million. I'm gonna give her a $10,000 bonus. So
that's okay. So that's how she gets the $10,000 is like because her dad gives her $10,000. Yeah, this is like the the success routine of the youngest vice president at a local marketing firm, and it's like I wake up at 4 a.m. I do meditations, I make a journal of all the things I'm thankful for, I work out at 5 a.m. and then I come home and I make myself breakfast, and then I make sure that I watch TV and I catch up on the news. And also, by the way, my dad owns the company. Okay. Great.
that 10,000 goes by as real estate. So she makes 50 a year. Let's say she averages 50 a year, which she will. She's doing a job, she's doing chores, she's doing work. I do not give her an allowance.
Okay, I mean, there's a lot going on here. Like I said, most of these videos are about his...
My mom would do this with me too, by the way. Is like she would give me money for lunch, but she wouldn't really give me any other extra money. And the only way that I could get money is if I did something for her or I made money off of somebody else.
Advice to parents. So most of these videos involve his kid. I'm not going to be shitting on his kid. I think she's like 15. Probably doesn't understand how out of touch the situation is. But the reason you're going to be a millionaire before you're 20 is because your dad is worth $600 million. Yeah, that's
a lot of
kind
money.
of the cheat code. Also, Grant, you can say you don't give your kid an allowance if you just want to make shit up, I guess.
You don't give them an allowance. You just give them $10,000 when they have a TikTok that does well. Yeah, it's totally different.
Define what words mean and what not, but if you give your kid $50,000 a year for doing chores, that is an allowance. Now look, I want to make this clear. I don't really have a problem with what this guy's doing. You absolutely should be investing for your children and setting their future up for them. I'm a very firm believer that if you're not willing to invest in your child's future and give them the best shot at success possible and guarantee them a better start than you had, you shouldn't be having kids. The problem is how he doesn't seem to understand how out of touch this is, while simultaneously acting like this is some groundbreaking stuff. Yeah.
Well, this is what happens a lot of times with a lot of these like alpha male internet dad people, is that they try to repackage something that's common sense as if it's like groundbreaking sigma male, like fucking alpha mentality. It's like, yeah, so when you get money, you don't want to spend all your money. So you want to get money and then keep some of the money, and then you want to use that money to buy something that's going to make you money. And people are like, "What? Wait, so I'm not, oh my God. So I don't need to buy $100 worth of Twizzlers a month? Holy shit. Thank you, Grant. Thank God I'm spending $100 a month on your courses instead." That's what it's all about.
Give your kid $50,000 a year and $10,000 here and there when a TikTok does well. No shit, she's gonna be a millionaire before she's 20.
Duh.
Okay, the 50,000 times 10 years, which she will have at least 10 years, is 500 grand. If that money doubles because she never touched it, she's a millionaire. It will have paid her $300,000 in income that was not taxed, and I wrote off $500,000 of salary from the IRS. So it's a win-win.
So he's basically talking about, now we get down to the actual reason why he's doing this. He's giving his kid money because he can write the money off from his taxes. This has nothing to do with what his kid is or isn't doing. This has everything to do with how can I make it, how can I figure out how to pay less money in taxes. It's not tax evasion. It's not. It's tax avoidance, maybe. Avoidance is unethical. Evasion is illegal. That's the difference, by the way. But, yeah, no, everybody does this. Everybody tries to save money on taxes.
Win for everybody. I'm never going to give a kid an allowance for living in my house. Shit, she's lucky to live in my house.
Yeah, okay, Grant. I don't know if this is an attempt by you to be snarky and just act like money means nothing to you. It just makes you look like a douchebag. We get it. $100,000 a year is nothing to you. Can't even qualify it as an allowance.
Crazy.
I just don't understand the angle.
Parents are stupid to give their kids allowances. Here's how I get money as a father.
I don't agree with that. I think that it's really good to give your kid an allowance because it teaches them how to budget. Like, if you give your kid a certain amount of money and your kid can do whatever he wants with that money, I think that's extremely healthy.
Hey guys.
Every year I'm paid a certain sum of money from the company for being an employee. This means I have certain obligations I have to fill. I have to help people out around the office. That sum of money goes and gets invested into real estate. That real estate then has passive income, and that money I get paid with every month. I get paid $150, $400 every single month and get to spend that. But I never get to spend the principal income I have. So every year that principal, it stacks on top of each other, and over time my passive income becomes more and more.
Okay, so look, I'm not doubting that that's how you and your dad have
Yes, that's the way that compounding interest works. Yep.
handled you getting money, but let's all be on the same page
Sure.
here. That is an allowance. You get money that comes from your dad because it's getting paid out by your dad.
I don't get an allowance. My dad just gives me money. Oh, man.
Company for doing chores around your dad's office. Yeah, that's an allowance. You are describing being a trust fund baby who gets an allowance. That's it. Again, nothing wrong with that. But stop trying to act like you guys are better than everybody else because you don't want to use.
The problem is that if you use this as information to give other people, you do them a disservice because other people can't have this experience that you did. So it's like, yeah, just do what I did, but you have some sort of like weird advantage that other people don't have access to.
The word allowance.
I bring home the deadbeat. He has a tattoo on his face like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
This guy, what are you doing? Like, how are you going to react?
Number one, Mike Tyson can put a tattoo anywhere he wants. That guy you're with hadn't done anything. He hadn't won one fight, much less 50.
Holy shit, what a crazy thing to say to your daughter as a father. Yeah, as long as the guy you're with beats the shit out of people, he can do whatever he wants. That's kind of a weird thing to say.
I think Grant's being facetious here. I don't really think that's what he actually means. I think he's just goofing around, to be fair.
Grant.
Okay, but what if I really love him?
I'm going to tell you, man, you bring a kid home who's got a tattoo on his face, I got a problem with that. What were you thinking?
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
What happened to you? Because all we know is...
To be fair, I don't know anybody who has a face tattoo who isn't stupid. I don't know any of them, right? And it's extremely common.
This kid took and put tens of thousands of injections into his face. What thought process did he go through to decide to do that? Either did something out of one moment, or you took a long period of time to think about doing
Which
that.
one's worse?
Either way.
Yeah,
we got a problem.
don't.
And now I got a problem with you because now you fell in love with some guy that makes weird decisions.
You know what, guys? I don't really like this. This is kind of weird. But honestly, I've got to respect the hustle. Sure, I could be talking out of my ass here, but I think we all know what's going on here. Look, you have me born into a family where my dad is worth $600 million. I'm going to tell that motherfucker anything he wants to hear. Yeah, Dad, my boyfriend has a face tattoo. You should just fucking kill him. I'm not doing a single thing to mess up that inheritance. You want me to do a podcast where I agree with everything you say? Okay, sure, whatever. You gotta respect the grind.
What kind of car do you think I should get? Because I want something that is like a nice car.
I can buy her anything, by the way.
This is a great feeling. But I want something that's a nice car, but I also don't want it to be super flashy, super loud, nothing like that screams like, oh, I'm super spoiled. Just something that's like, it's a nice car. She probably comes from a good family, but that's all I want it to say.
You even said you were willing to have a used car with some scratches on it. Why'd you say that?
For sure.
Well, I'll be. What a nice young lady. You would be willing to have a free car with...
My first car was a 1998 Nissan Altima that had hail damage. My second car was a 1992 Isuzu Rodeo that had door damage, hail damage, window damage, no AC, no cup holders, mold damage, leaky sunroof. The door didn't open. I had to come in from the other side. I had to open the door in order to get my food from fast food. And I think there was some... Oh, it doesn't have a radio. Radio was damaged. Yeah, I think there was one more that I had. And so, yeah, 1992. And then I had a 2001 Mustang until recently. After you paid for it? No, I bought that car myself. It was like $1,500. The first car that my dad did buy it for me, it was like $3,000. But this was a very, very long time ago.
Scratches
I got
on
lucky
it?
in that regard.
Holy shit. Guys, do we have like a reward we can give her for this? Look, I'm not trying to be a douche, but come on. My first car was $200. It stopped working in 3 months. Somebody saying they'll take a free car with a scratch or two is not very impressive. Not
Amazing.
to anybody outside of this kind of circle.
I don't want a new car. Right now, I think the car that I want is the new Toyota Land Cruiser.
Okay. How much is a Toyota Land Cruiser? I'm actually curious. Let me search this. MSRP. We are looking at a first edition between $56,000 and $74,000. That's a pretty expensive car.
What? You don't want a new car, but you want a new car? Okay,
Yeah.
sure, whatever.
That came out. The Land Rover Defender. I like those kind of bulky cars. Like, they're not quite SUVs. The G-Wagon.
That's what I thought. I liked it, but you don't like that car. Like, it's annoying to move it around to get it in parking lots. Like, you think that it's good. The only thing that's good about those cars is that you can get all of your boys in the car at the same time. Like, because, like, did you guys ever have this shit happen where, like, whenever you were kids and, like, somebody had a car and there would be, like, 8 people in, like, the, the sedan, right? It's like a 4-person car. There's 8 people in the car. There's, like, somebody sitting. There's, like, 2 people in the front seat, 5 people in the back seat, 1 person laying down there. And then, like, the cop pulls over and you're like, everybody hide. Yeah. 2 in the trunk. That's what we used to do a lot, man. No, we never had somebody in the fucking trunk. So that was the only good thing about, like... So the marketing strategy of calling your audience racist and sexist, this doesn't really work.
Good evening. I have an update for you on the woke scandal at Jaguar after this controversial rebrand.
It's like, you know what they should have done with this ad? They should have just, like, gotten the IP of this ad and then just sold this to Balenciaga. Because if this had been a Balenciaga ad, it would have gone so hard. The problem isn't that the ad is bad. It's just that it's not for a car. Like, it's not. Like, this isn't for a car. You don't do this for a car. It could be the next Concorde? Oh, yeah, true. It's like in between Dune and the Hunger Games.
So, if you've forgotten, those are the guys who sell cars. Anyway, their big boss has come out today and given a response to allegations.
Okay, let's see it.
Quite frankly, blown up the brand. So, did he fire the branding team? Did he pledge to throw millions at a new masculine petrol head such as Jeremy Clarkson to launch a brand new campaign? Or, dare I say it, did he apologise? Well, actually, it turns out it's all your faults at home for being too bigoted. Rawdon Glover, the managing director of Jaguar, said the campaign message had been lost in a, quote, blaze of intolerance, adding that the car maker must move away from traditional...
What's the message?
...automotive stereotypes. Glover added that while the overall buzz of the new campaign had been very positive, he was disappointed by the, quote, level of vile hatred and intolerance in the comments regarding the individuals that appeared in the video.
Well, I don't understand the logic for this. So, like, if the meaning for the the commercial was to challenge boundaries and to show people that were non-conforming to like natural ideals. So you're showing a bunch of people, basically you're saying, hey, we got a bunch of people in here that don't fit in with society. And we're gonna parade them around in this video. And now, if you say that you don't like it, you're the one who's wrong. Well, no, wait a minute. You put them there because you think that they don't fit in. So you lined a bunch of ducks up. You're mad that people are shooting them down. You said, hey, get over here. You look like a freak. Come here. Come be in our advertisement. And like, yeah, I want you to be a freak. I want you to look weird in our advertisement because we're trying to do different things. And then the article comes out. The commercial comes out. And then everybody's like, hey, wow, this guy looks like a freak. And then you go, oh, wow, you think he's a freak? Wow, you're a terrible person. Bitch, you put him in there because it was a freak. You put him in there. You're putting these people up. And this is the problem, is they're getting these people harassed and attacked just because they want to put out some am I crazy for this shit? What the fuck's wrong with you, Raw Dong Glover? What the fuck are you thinking? Yeah, they're using them. These people are getting farmed out. Like, that woman doesn't deserve the hate. These people don't deserve the hate. They're just average models doing a job. There's nothing wrong with them at all. And so this guy goes and he calls everybody else bigoted after he just lined up, 8 people to be made fun of. I'm going to get you 8 freaks. I'm going to put them on the camera. But if you say they're freaks, it's you that's wrong. It's ridiculous. Holy shit. What the fuck are we doing?
Campaign had been very positive. He was disappointed by the, quote, level of vile hatred and intolerance in the comments regarding the individuals.
What did he say again?
While the overall buzz of the new campaign had been very positive.
The overall buzz of the campaign has been very positive? Really? Where? Because, like, if I look at this, let me guess, they got comments turned off? Every negative. It's all, where is it positive? Who said it was positive? On Blue Sky? Probably you're right. Yeah, the people that work for him that don't want to lose their job. It's great. What are we doing? What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
He was disappointed by the, quote, level of vile hatred and intolerance in the comments regarding the individuals that appeared in the video. He went on, if we play in the same way that everybody else does, we'll just get drowned out. So we shouldn't turn up like an auto brand.
Well, you shouldn't turn up like Balenciaga either. That's the only 2 options that can exist. That's the only thing you can do. You can't think of anything else besides that.
Okay, so there you have it. The rebrand is staying, and you're all a bunch of intolerant orcs if you don't like it.
And I want to keep in mind that the rebrand, in his own words, is because those people are different. And because they're weird. So he basically rounded up a bunch of weirdos and says, don't call them weirdos.
The guy who's been heading up Jaguar's marketing department was right after all.
We're committed to fostering a diverse, inclusive, and unified culture that is representative not only of the people who use our products, but in a society in which we all live. And we're on a transformative journey of our own, driven by a belief in diversity, inclusion, creativity, policy, and most importantly, action.
What action is that? Because the only action I think that they've taken here is that this is a net negative for anybody who has a traditional gender conforming identity or appearance. I feel like it's a universal negative because you're parading these people around to get virtue points. For what? So they can get harassed? Because they're the ones getting harassed. It's not even... Yeah, what is this?
Former Labour Minister Bill Rammell, political commentator Will Kingston, and senior reporter at Guido Fawkes, Ellie Wheatley. Good evening to you all. Thank you for your company on this very chilly evening. Bill Rammell, they've doubled down, and if you don't like it, you're just a bigoted racist.
Yeah, it's totally weird. When you sent it to me this afternoon, I thought this was a GB News wind-up. And it's got echoes. For my sins, I'm still the only British minister ever to have been to North Korea and negotiated there. And I remember being taken around a goat farm, and it was only when we left we realised we hadn't seen any goats.
What was there?
Just lots of other stuff. And this has got similarities. There's nothing about cars within it. And, you know, look, I believe that diversity is important, but I saw a clip from, I think it was the chief executive.
Diversity is not important or not important. Diversity will happen naturally because the world is naturally diverse. It's not a positive or a negative thing. It's like gravity. Like it just exists. If you make it the focus, you're going to look like an idiot. It's common sense.
A few months ago, lauding the fact they got 15 equality and diversity teams. They're throwing out cars at 100 grand a pop. You know, it's difficult to be inclusive on that basis.
So how are you being inclusive whenever you're selling luxury cars? You ever think about that? If you really want to be inclusive, why don't you try to find a car that people in India can afford? There's no logic in this at all.
The only thing I'd say in their favour is one measure of advertising is if people are talking about it. And people are.
Yes, Ellie, is that a point? And would this make you go and buy a Jag?
Absolutely not. I mean, there is
nobody going to buy it because of this. I think, honestly, like, the whole idea of all publicity is good publicity, that's just not true. Like, that's something that people say because they've never got bad publicity. That's not true. Like, no, there's tons of things that, like, if everybody says this about you, it's really bad for you.
Thing is bad publicity. I mean, we saw it with Bud Light. You know, they lost nearly 1.8 billion in sales after they advertised the transgender influencer. But, you know, as Elon Musk said, do you sell cars? This advert has nothing to do with cars. And actually, people are fed up with this woke nonsense, and they are just not appealing to their audience. And actually now, the boss has come out and just said the audience and my consumers are wrong.
I can't believe he's doubled down. Will, if
I'm sure that's going to work out really well.
If you were the managing director of Jaguar Land Rover, what would your response be to this marketing controversy?
Well, I never would have done it because I'd actually be listening to my customers.
Right.
There's a bigger question here, and I think it's a bigger question for the left more broadly, and that is, we know now that these woke campaigns don't work. We've seen the Bud Light experience, and yet they continue to cling on to them. And the question has to be why. And I think it is because this...
It's because they look down on the people that are their audience. That's the real reason. Nobody's going to say this probably, but they look down on the commenters on YouTube. They look down on the people on Twitter, and they think that they are morally above them, and they think that they have the... the high ground in terms of like what the right thinking is. So they just keep pushing this message and they think that they're doing the right thing. They're morally righteous and superior. Yeah, so that's the reason why they keep doing it. And also, I think that these people are insulated in their own little echo chambers, so they never really hear any criticism. Because, like, if you criticize this in a corporate environment, you can get labeled as, like, a racist or a sexist or something like that. And then you lose your job. So what that does is it makes people that actually would be willing to like give legitimate criticism and feedback to something like this and be like, this really isn't our target audience. Like, I'm sure that they have like audience demographics of like what they're doing. And it's like, what's the, if I think about who is buying a Jaguar, a 55-year-old guy that's probably white that's living in a first world country, right? That's probably the biggest audience numerically of Jaguar owners, okay? So if you're looking, and it's not even necessarily white, but older, rich, successful men, those are the people buying Jaguars. And do you know what those older, rich, successful men are in most cases? Conservative. They're conservative. So how is it that you think going against your main target audience is going to do anything? Saudi oil barons? No, there's a few of them. But I actually heard that over in Saudi Arabia, they're pretty conservative too. Yeah.
Identity politics virus is so
I heard about
ingrained
that.
in the modern left, and the modern left is the institutions. It's the corporates, it's politics, it's the media. And as a result, despite the fact that they need to get back to actually engaging with people, they can't let it go. And I think there's lessons for, dare I say it, the Labor Party in the UK. There's lessons for the Democrats. There's lessons across the spectrum.
That's a good point.
Well, they can't let it go because they're completely convinced that they're doing everything right and that they are on a moral crusade to educate the world about their worldview. That's the reason why. Is that they're unwilling to acknowledge that they made any mistake because they don't think that they did. It's the same reason why people like Frogan and Denims and all them on Twitch, they're just unwilling to accept any level of accountability at all for making a mistake. They can't even comprehend the idea that other people could think differently than they do. It's just impossible for them.
But you see, I don't think anyone who's a sort of paid-up activist or MP on the left would think that's a good approach. What I've learned over the years is often it is people who aren't that political that think this is the way.
They think it's weird. That's the reason why. They just think it's weird. It's super simple.
Even this is the way that things work, and I think they've fundamentally got it wrong.
If only Labor politicians today were of your ilk. Unfortunately, I think that the left has changed. I think the Labor Party, and particularly in America, which I think is worse, I think it has changed.
I think there are tendencies within America, and I think that's an element of why Kamala Harris lost so.
Do you think the Jaguar will lose more money than Concorde because of the stunt? No, I don't think it's really going to affect them that much. Like, things like this don't affect a brand in like a binary way. I think that they affect the brand in like a very longitudinal way, where like now people have a more negative perception of it. So that's going to influence decisions they're going to make 20 years in the future. So like, because very rarely do you see like a lot of stuff about like these luxury cars. So people will remember this and they'll be like, oh, Jaguar, oh yeah, that was that weird ad. And then they might just go buy something else. I think that's usually what happens more often than anything. It'll probably just get submerged and disappear in a few months' time. Yeah, but people will still think back on it and remember it. Because I do think that the ad was memorable, right? It's true. I think it was.
On the popular vote, this sort of thing is not appealing to the public anymore. And Jaguar is just behind the curve on this, don't you think?
Yeah, they are. But the other thing which needs to be said, and Bill, you hit on this, it's just a rubbish ad. You know, the whole point of the ad is to say copy nothing, and that is the same type of woke ad that we've seen.
Copy nothing. They copied Concorde. What do you mean? It's not even true.
A million times over the last decade.
And be fearless, but actually they're fearing, upsetting anyone on the left.
The weird bit is, look, they're a very well-financed company. They must have focus groups this and done some research.
But surely that's where they go
Here's the problem. The reason why focus groups and research doesn't work is because there's a chilling effect across all of corporate, I bet probably corporate everywhere in the world, or at least like in Western places, that if you criticize or push back against something like this, your job is at risk. So that's why these companies still do this, is they've created a culture of toxic positivity by silencing anybody who disagrees with them. So, and that worked for a while because these advertisements were seen as at least being neutral, right? Maybe not necessarily good, but, they were neutral. Now, a lot of people aren't going to speak up against this because they don't want to have to go to HR and explain why they don't like black people, right? Why would anybody want to do that? So they're just going to try to keep their job, keep their head down. At the end of the day, right, this is a person with a career, a family, a life. They don't want to, this isn't their fight, right? So mandatory sensitivity training. Yeah, exactly. And so that's really what the problem is. The problem is that they've created a culture where you can't speak out against this at all in, I would say, a corporate environment. And again, like I'm speaking as a streamer, so I could be wrong about this in some circumstances, but I don't think that I am because this is what I've read and observed from other people that I've spoken with. But the fact is that that's why I think it just keeps going through. It's because nobody can push back against this without putting their career at risk.
and even political focus groups. Who are these people? Ellie, maybe you have a better clue about political focus groups. Who do they talk to? Because every time we see governments come up with policies based off focus groups, it makes me think, who the hell are you speaking to?
Yeah.
Because they're so disconnected with, everyday people. Most of the time.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's, here's the answer, what's the question?
But it's a facet of modern business. Nobody
Well,
would
they
launch...
bring in a focus group of people that are like-minded. That's why they decided to hire that focus group. It's something like Sweet Baby. Like, you're bringing in somebody like that because they agree with you and they're going to share your viewpoints. That's the reason why.
There's the new logo, look on the screen. I mean, I've had Jaguars before, and, for any Jaguar owner, one of the main aspects of it is the fierce logo. It's a British heritage brand, it's racy, you want to hear the roar and the vibration of the engine. Look, there's the... It's a big cat, it's a killer. And then we go to this silly J logo. Talking about America, Ellie, I think you brought up the point. Does the Trump election win herald the end of woke in America? And do you think the UK will be a couple of years behind in following suit?
Well, I think we already are a couple of years behind in following suit. I mean, look at our governor at the moment. I don't know if it is the end. I'm hoping it is, but you don't think it is?
No, because the educational institutions have been so infected. And you look at curriculums, and then you look at universities. Kids are going to go through 15.
Well, they're not going to have to worry about that because honestly, like if Trump does what he said he was going to do with the schools, he's just going to defund the schools. Because these people, the reason why they exist is because the government lets them exist. So he can just stop it from happening. You just cut off their money, and then they get rid of those people, and then problem solved. It's super simple.
Years of education with a particular worldview.
UK, I'm not sure. I don't know about UK. I don't live there.
Yeah, Linda McMahon.
I know you're.
I think you can massively overanalyze Trump's victory. His is just the latest across the world of the cost of living and incumbency killing you.
Do you think it was all just that?
I think that was the major factor.
No worries about woke or...
Well, that was a contributor, but I think the driving reason, and you've seen it right the way across the advanced world, and it happened in this country with the Conservatives...
Does that mean then, in the way that the Labour have kicked off their tenure, I mean, no growth in the first 3 months, everybody seems to hate the government so far, does that mean...
So let me just look at this. I'll read this to you guys. Like, somebody says, your inability to get over this is not the normal reaction. How do you reconcile that my inability to get over this is not the normal reaction when all of the people that are in the comments have the same reaction? How do you reconcile that? Because it sure seems like everybody is agreeing with what I'm saying massively, right? I mean, am I crazy? Yeah, I just, because most normal people in your chat think like you, it's a reflection of your character. You didn't listen to what I said. Listen this time, okay? So I said that in the comment section of the Jaguar video. I'm not talking about my comment section or my Twitch chat. Or on Twitter in general. I don't understand that YouTube comment section is the worst. Yeah, it is. All the people I talked to said, yeah, it's weird, but it's probably worked based off of all the internet chatter. So you probably talk to like half a dozen people and you think that your half a dozen people that you talk to is a better sample size than YouTube that has comments that have tens of thousands of upvotes? I mean, I don't understand the logic for this. So, like, if I talked to 10 people that thought it was weird, like, shouldn't you try to look at the largest number of people and see how people are receiving the like, I don't know. I think we're wasting time talking about this. But anyway, it's not really a ban. I just don't want to move on. Well, people moved on and didn't comment, Asmon. People moved on and didn't comment. Yeah, of course some people moved on and didn't comment. Absolutely. But to say that this is, but like, I don't understand like the logic and the reasoning here. So like, people moved on but didn't comment, and somehow all of the people that moved on and didn't comment were positive, but all of the people that commented were negative. Like, I just think that people are using weapons grade copium here in order to justify something that's unreasonable. I think by any logical evaluation, you could see that this ad didn't do very well. A lot of people were alienated and didn't like it. What are we even talking about? Chatter didn't say that, just said that they just moved on. Well, if you're like, what do you mean by moving on? So like you're not allowed to talk about certain things? So like somebody puts out a commercial and somebody else talks about it, and now this is a problem? Like, I'm sorry, like it's just ridiculous. It's again the appeal to triviality. It's like, yeah, we're going to do something that you don't like, and if you complain about it, you're the one that's being unreasonable. No. They put out an advertisement because they want people to react to it. They're reacting to it, it's negative, and then they say the negative reactions don't matter. Well, they were looking for the reactions.
That they'll be out on there.
It's completely unreasonable.
I still think the fundamentals will come through, but I think there is a worry. Yeah. I was talking to someone on the right, and I was making the argument recently, and I said, you know, we need to get back up to 36, 37% of the vote, and you can see us doing that. The Tories split with Reform makes it very difficult from them. Yep. But he said to me that social media has so atomised society that any party and government will be a one-term government from here on in. And I came away from that conversation thinking, you know, you might have a point.
Yeah, it's probably true. You add in also the decline in party membership, that party loyalty isn't what it used to be. Yeah. I think that's absolutely spot on.
Did you see that new poll today? We're going to...
I think the reason why that is, by the way, actually doesn't have anything to do with the social media. It has to do with the fact that people don't have the right to dignity anymore. People don't own the fruits of their own labor. People don't own the thoughts in their own mind, and people don't own the places that they live in. They live completely inside of a box that society has created for them, and they hate that, and every election cycle, they're looking for the person who's going to take them out of that box. But the fact is that no party is going to take them out of that box because the box was put there by the people that control the parties. So they're constantly trying to look for a placebo effect for the fact that they're living in a class war that they're not aware of. I think that's really what's happening. So that's why you have people that constantly want to reset the board.
Discuss it in just a tick, actually, but there was a new poll showing that 70% of Britain, or Brits polled, thought or think Britain is now worse off under Keir Starmer and this Labour government.
Can I ask,
which
Bill,
included, by the way, Labour voters.
Have you ever seen in any Western country in modern history this sort of decline in support so quickly after a very successful election? I can't think of any example.
Well, hold on.
They've done a Jaguar.
We actually, don't go to the polls beforehand, we actually got 34% of the vote.
Corbyn?
Yeah. But actually, most of the polls put us at 30%, still 5 or 6% ahead of the Conservatives. Now, I'm not saying that's a stellar performance, but there's a long way to go.
Yeah, that's fair.
With regards to Jaguar, do you think that they'd ever turn it around? I mean, my argument was, if I was a brand manager, I would.
They can't turn it around. They have to go all the way with it, because they can't basically apologize for showing people that are diverse, and so they basically wrote themselves into a corner with this. It's kind of like Bud Light. I mean, Bud Light apologized for that Dylan Mulvaney thing, and then people just got more mad at them. So it's like, once you make a mistake like this, I think that people will just not trust you no matter what.
I would have made a very public display, extravagant display of saying, you're all fired, Alan Sugar style, and made a point of it. Yeah. Gone and spent millions on someone like Jeremy Clarkson or somebody, you know, a big petrol head, and relaunched a campaign to win millions over. Do you think they'll have any kind of initiative?
I think they'll have to wait until they see their sale figures slump, right?
Yeah,
because
of course.
he's doubled down.
That's what they care about.
And he probably will U-turn and go back to the original branding or something similar after they start to see the money's not coming in anymore. They have to.
But it could kill you. Who's the guy who did that speech and said, my product is CRAP, and it killed his business? Do you remember that?
Oh, was it a jeweller?
Yeah. And it completely destroyed the business. Who knows?
Yeah, who was that? I'm sorry. I'm being told in my ear. That wasn't my own knowledge. I'm being helped from the voice inside my head. OK, good stuff. We'll wait and see what happens with Jaguar. It's a shame. As I said, you know, a British heritage brand. You think luxury, you think class, you think racy, you think sexy, and now it's all just a bit weird. So, yeah, there we go. Right, who is it? Sorry, Gerald Ratner.
That's it.
There we go.
Well,
but my own
here's what I think is funny about this whole thing.
The big reveal is we're trying to work out how you can afford a Jaguar.
Who, me? Well, you can get a... I had a nice paper round.
Here's what I think is so fucking weird. I'll link you all the video. I think this is pretty good. I wanted to see more of the guy's speech, but that's okay. So what I find to be really funny about this is the fact that they did this and they basically admitted that they brought these people on here because they look weird and they look different. And so you do a commercial, and the commercial selling point is, hey, we have a bunch of weird looking people that aren't normal. And then all the comments are saying, wow, there's just a bunch of weird looking people that aren't normal in the comments. At a certain point, like, how is Jaguar not responsible for this? They basically rounded them up based off of the fact of the thing that they're criticizing other people for acknowledging. Am I crazy here? Like, you round up a bunch of fucking weirdos, and then you put them up there, and you say, oh yeah, here you go. Then people say, wow, those are a bunch of weirdos. And you say, oh, you're bad for saying that. I disagree. I think Jaguar's bad. This is why they're fucking wrong. It's because they took these models or these actors or whatever you want to call them. You took them and you put them in front. You basically looked for people that looked weird or different or diverse or non-conforming. You put them all together intentionally to like, you know, what's the word? To like kind of challenge people. People feel challenged, and now you've basically put these people to get harassed, to mock them. Yes, it's very weird to see this happen. I think Jaguar and a lot of these companies, and this is the thing, right? Is that this is the truth. Jaguar, I think that there's nothing that they can really do about this now, right? I mean, you can't walk this back. You're basically stuck there. And also, it's a bunch of people that are trying to virtue signal by using these other people as effectively target dummies. And it's sad to see happen, man. I miss movies like this. What is this? Oh, let me link you guys the video. I don't know if I did. But yeah, this is a good video. Keem's Mr. Beast clips. Yeah, we'll watch the Mr. Beast clips, okay? Yeah, we will. Did earlier? Yeah, I don't remember. Eventually Jaguar will go bankrupt. I don't know. We'll see what happens. At Activision's internal meeting, inexplicably hosted by James Corden, Bobby Kotick promises a new dimensional of emotional connection powered by AI. Bro, remember what I said? It's Bobby's world. Yeah, this is just this is just a common Bobby W. Is that James Corden? Don't people hate this guy? They do? Yeah, why do people not like it? There was a Sunny video about it. I was going to watch it. I never did.
James Corden has slowly developed one of the worst reputations in media history, and the foundation for his decline began when people started to realize that James Corden was a completely different person when he wasn't on camera. As an actor and the main host of The Late Late Show, James presents as a happy, polite, easygoing comedian whose goal is to simply make the audience laugh, although there's a mountain of evidence showing that in his private life he's the exact opposite to this, with his rude nature developing after he first became famous back in 2008. As a result of his excellent performance on a British TV show called Gavin and Stacey, James would win the British equivalent of an Oscar, although accompanying this award was an ego boost that began to get out of control.
You can start to think you're perhaps a bit more of a dude than you really are, and that very much happened to me. You know, I had a swagger in my walk.
As mentioned, James Corden's sudden explosion into fame led him to believe that he was more of a dude than he really was, which would eventually translate into him treating everyone around him like garbage. Okay. James explained that as 2008 wore on, it got so bad I was being rude to my agent, and I even
see, that's the thing, right? It's like somebody can have a big ego and act like an asshole, but like not to like other random ass people. It's like Kanye West has a big ego, he acts like an asshole, but not everybody hated Kanye West because he wasn't doing that to like random ass waiters and shit, you know?
Of being rude to Ruth. If I was in company and the conversation wasn't revolving around me, I would just switch off. In addition to being rude to everyone around him, Corden began to live a typically irresponsible, newly famous lifestyle.
I'd started going out quite a lot. This door had opened to this world that I thought looked like fun, where people go, you're amazing, You're great. Can I have a photo? Do you want a drink? Come out with us.
Yeah.
So you just end up on this path of just 3 a.m. cab rides with people you don't know, heading across London to someone's house who you don't know either, with a group of people who think it's amazing that you're there. This is an intoxicating thing to be part of.
All of which being noticed by another Gavin and Stacey actor.
So he just really liked the attention, basically.
Bryden, who explained that when he first met James Corden 6 years prior, he was impressed by him, yet after winning the Oscar award, James Corden was on a roller coaster. This boy from High Wycombe, and he's suddenly enjoying the fruits of his success, and he just lost his way for a bit. He was burning the candle at both ends and becoming ratty and irritable. James Corden claimed that his streak of irresponsibility came to an end after attending 18 months of therapy, although even after
I do think something like that can probably fuck you up a lot, especially if you're not used to it at all. You know, like, I could see how it would fuck somebody up a lot.
There were still countless examples of him treating people like garbage. For example, James Corden stated in a BBC4 interview that he needed to bully his way to the top of the media world, which can be observed in certain events such as the time he'd get into a public argument with another incredibly respected actor, Patrick Stewart, whilst on stage.
When the presenters are up here and when the recipients are receiving their awards, don't stand at the back of the stage with your hands in your pockets, looking around as though you wished you were anywhere but here.
Oh, you couldn't be more wrong, sir. And if it looked like that, I'm so sorry. But when you come up and present an award, just get on with it.
After Patrick Stewart would confront James about looking disinterested during the presentation, the argument would escalate in front of everyone.
Sorry, I'm waiting for the punchline. Go on. No, seriously, go on.
Okay.
No, go on. You can see my back.
I love how, like, you can see, like, I mean, Patrick Stewart is a gentleman, you know? And he just, like, you can tell that he really, really wants to fucking say something. But isn't he Sir Patrick Stewart? He's not just gonna, like, skewer this kid in front of everybody, right? He's got to sit here and fucking deal with it. And he's like, all right, I'm just gonna take it. It's whatever. But, like, God, bro, you know he was thinking something totally different than what he said. Yeah.
You can see my belly, and we can all see you dying right now. Let's go for it. Here we go.
Which was concluded by James and Patrick bickering in the background while someone else was talking on the microphone. Now, to cut James some slack, Patrick Stewart was probably in the wrong here.
When she went over to her grandparents' house for Easter, her grandpa...
One could ask the same question. It's not the phone on the table. No. One could ask the same question. It's not the phone on the table. No. One could ask the same question. It's not the phone on the table. No. One could ask the same.
In 2012, Riot Games issued a 1-year suspension to the professional player I Will Dominate removed due to his
I'm a freaky little guy. I feel so Jinx! Yippee! That's not something Jinx would say. Circus 10 looking ass. Yeah. I'ma put. Yeah. I'ma put my pink contacts on. Oh, this is kind of too pink. Yeah, whatever. It'll look cool. I think I'm good. Oh my god, I can see them moving on my eye when I blink. I can see the pink like sliding across my vision. I think I'm good now. I have the shirt on already because I had to like tape it a little bit. Okay, circus pants. How am I supposed to wear these? I think I get it. Okay, I will be right back. There's belt stuff, but I don't know how it's supposed to go, so I'll figure it out later. So should I try to do the shading in the eye bags like in the show or not? I feel like I should. Yes. Okay. It might end up looking dirty and weird. This might be a trust the process moment. I have done makeup like this before, but it's been a while. I will go slow. You make everything look difficult! Isn't that a bad thing? I think that's a bad thing. Let me expose my bald spot in my forehead. Oh god. Okay, I'm looking at the picture. I think this is fine. It's just really dark, but it's supposed to be. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to do to my face, basically. Yes, Jinx. That's why I'm adding all the shadows to my face, because the art style looks like that. Need smaller jaws. Sorry, let me just shave my head. Well, I can like... Close enough. I'll just be square head Jinx. Kinda looks like she has 2 black eyes. Well, I guess that's what I'm gonna look like later then. Oh, the misery. It looks like it, but it's like, something about it is weird. I think it's just because it's like unnatural. I don't know. I'm just putting white on my face. I don't know if I like it or not. I think I just have to be patient with it. Is this your WoW Undead cosplay? Close enough, right? I think maybe.